Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Welcome to our roundtable session. I hope you guys are pumped up. I am pumped up. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It's not too often, actually, in fact, as far as I'm aware, never that we've had a session like this where we just talk directly about what our main holdings are. Obviously, we like to talk about top stocks and picks and things that are relevant in the short or medium term, which is always fun, and I'm a big fan of that. But sometimes we get so caught up in what's hot or what are we focused on right now that we don't set aside too much time for looking at what we're actually holding with the highest conviction in terms of more of a long term. So that's what we're going to do today. And I am really looking forward to it. I also think some of the top holdings might surprise you a little bit. So can't wait to get into this. Can't wait to see, your thoughts and your questions about some of these. I keep calling them picks. They're not really picks. They're just what we're holding. They're not a pick for today or this week or next month. They're just what we have our own money invested in with the highest confidence and the most conviction and the most dollars, which is, you know, probably what matters the most in terms of what you really believe about a stock. So that's what we're going to cover. All right. We are, 17 minutes away from getting started here. So I'll just hang out. I'll probably mute myself most of this time in the next, 15, 20 minutes. But feel free to wave, say hello, tell me where you're from, tell me what stocks you like, all that good stuff. And I'll jump in and out here for the next, 15 minutes or so. And then we will get rolling at 1 o'clock. Hello, Greg from Arlington, Texas. I just flew back from Texas last night. Got back in from Austin later last night. Had a quick trip there and settled back in Pittsburgh now. But it's nice to get 24 hours in some in some warm weather down in Austin. Got another Texan. Hi, Randy. Good to see you. Pink Sparkles says chip stocks, of course. Well, I guess that is, of course. They are dominating the news, dominating the markets, dominating everything. And NVIDIA is unreal. Dale said he can only see my hair. Wow, that would be wild. Okay, now I need to know, is everyone just looking at the top of my head? Or can the rest of you see my whole face? That's that's hilarious. Okay. Dale, it might be the where you have a position. It seems like everyone else can see me. Um, I thought everyone was just seeing the top of my head, which would be
I
pretty.
wish that's all we could see.
Oh, that would be funny. Okay. Dale, it might be where you have the camera box or the whatever you call that, the video box, just positioned in Zoom here. Man, a lot of representation from Texas today. We've got Jim and Randy and Reg. I think I saw one more in there. Got another one, San Antonio. Sandy from Texas. Adam, did we only send the invites to people from Texas on accident for today's roundtable? All right, we got David from Johnstown. David, I went to a little Christian school in Johnstown for when I was in high school, so I know Johnstown well. All right, here we go. Now we got another Texas. We got another Greg from a different part of Texas. Uh, but we've got some Michigan and some California and some Colorado now. We're starting to diversify in the states here. I was a little worried we only had Texans allowed in. Got some more Southern Cal. Hi, Jeremy Robinson from Colorado. Man, a good chunk of Colorado all of a sudden too. Guys are coming in bunches. Adam, any words of wisdom for Dale? He can't. He's not. His screen isn't cooperating. All right, guys, we're only about 10 minutes out from getting started. Oh, we got another one who's only seeing the top of my head. I don't know. Zoom might have some different options here. I'm not logged in as an attendee, so I don't see the exact same thing that you see, but there should be like a presenter view or a gallery. There should be like a couple views somewhere that you can pick from that, size it up correctly.
I just tried something. I changed the attendee view to standard. Let's see if that works.
All right. Well, looks like it did. Looks like Harold is now seeing a normal Nate at this point.
Hey, Harold, how you been? Haven't seen you in years.
Got Patrick tuning in from work. I love it. That was Adam who said hello there, Harold. He's not showing his face. He's just quietly creeping in the background. All right, Dale is back and can see, I think, a more normal version of me here too. So, all right, folks, we're about 10 minutes out. I'll mute myself for a minute here, but as always, feel free to pipe in questions, comments, or just say hello and where you're from. Anything is good. We love having you here. I am super pumped about this session because it's something we really never do, talking about what we're actually holding in our portfolios. Like I said before, I think you might be a little surprised by some of the top holdings. Um, and by the way, I'm curious to know what your top holdings are too. That's okay, Dale. Once we get started here, we'll just take a minute to intro, and then we'll jump right into the action. So we won't waste any time. These sessions are not meant to go for hours of fluff. We're going to try to jump into the action, maybe 2 or 3 minutes at the beginning, just to welcome everyone, make sure you know where you're at and how to, um, stay tuned to what we're doing. But then we'll get right into the action. No fluff, no fluff today. Geof, how's it going?
Good, Nate. How are you?
I am just living the dream over here in Pittsburgh. I was telling folks I was in Austin yesterday, so I got to enjoy warm weather for about 24 hours, and here I am. Although it's actually very warm, I have to admit, it's like almost 60 degrees in
Oh my.
Pittsburgh. So I can't actually complain. I just want to complain because Austin was 90 and really nice.
Yeah, I'm sure. I hit 82 here yesterday.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh,
Very nice.
can't complain one bit.
All right, folks, we're only about 5 minutes away from getting started here. Let me shut off my camera. I'm going to mute myself for a minute here. I've got our Mind folks in Telegram that we're getting started, and I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll get this thing kicked off shortly thereafter. Geof, feel free to sing a song, do a dance, whatever. In the meantime, I'll be back in a minute.
Do a little hula.
All right, folks, just a couple minutes away. I am looking forward to this. I'm going to keep repeating myself because more people are jumping on here, but as far as I know, we have never actually done this before. We love to give away ideas and specific trades. We did that last month on the roundtable, and talk about ideas, top stocks, things of that nature. But typically, it's thematic in nature. It's hey, tech is going up. Here's our favorite pick, or this is what's going on in the market. Um, Rarely do we kind of scrape all the surface stuff away and just say, hey, this is what we actually have. This is where our money's at right now. And so I thought that would kind of be a good change of pace. And listen, there's nothing wrong with short term, medium term focus on opportunities. I think people have gotten a lot of value. At least I hope so. I know I have from those kind of ideas. So certainly nothing wrong with that, but it's just a different animal to say, okay, that's all fine and dandy. Maybe you're trading that actively or aggressively with options or whatever the case may be, but where do you actually have your money parked right now? Where's your real conviction at? And for me, if I want to know where someone's real conviction is, then I want to know where their dollars are. And that's what we're gonna kind of pull the curtain and show you today. As far as I know, we've never actually done this before. So
Yeah, I can't ever remember being in anything that we've done that before.
yeah, so that'll be cool. Change of pace, and you guys will have to let us know if you like it, if you thought it was valuable, if you thought it was interesting, um, if you want to do it again, and then of course, um, any questions you have about it. Why are you holding that? How long are you holding it? What do you like about it? That's what we're here to do. This is a fully value forward kind of session. This is not meant to be fluff or talk around ideas. It's meant to give very specific, actionable. I almost want to say actionable ideas, but not even ideas. Just what we're doing. The real life version of what we're doing.
Of course, Kathy wants to do it again.
All right. Sorry, I'm just typing and talking at the same time, which Lord knows I'm not equipped to do. Yeah, I think folks might be a little surprised at some of the top holdings. I've got some commentary on your top holding, Geof, but I won't blow the surprise yet. But I have some thoughts.
Well, I don't want to be a spokesman today, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about. I'll be honest. For me, I will be less of a spokesman because I don't think I have the kind of holding that you have where it's more of a, I don't know, research spokesman kind of pick. So mine will be a little more surface level, I think, but still I have some thoughts. I think you and Lance and Graham all have frankly more interesting picks than I do, but we'll get there. And of course, we'll take questions along the way and all that good stuff as well. All right, looks like we got Graham.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All righty. See if I get my camera going. Oh, sweet. Looks like it. I got new screen set up today, so a little bit all over the place at the moment, but
Well, you got two instead of one now?
no, I've always had three. Yeah, two instead of one. I had a half screen before. Now I got 3/4 of one. No, I always had three, but I got the one that goes up and down, slides on the little oscillator thing. So when I got, it's a long story, Geof. I don't really want, it's kind of embarrassing. My computer always craps out. I got a new one on the way, but I got this little pad thing that blows air up it to cool it off during the day. So until my new one comes.
So did you get one of those GeekCom computers?
The what?
Did you get a GeekCom computer?
No, I have a Surface, a Microsoft Surface right now.
Oh.
And it's literally the best computer that you can possibly buy from Microsoft. they don't even offer a better one. But it's been crapping out on me. They crap on me. It's my third one. They crap out on me about once a year. So I ordered a MacBook. It's coming in the mail. I'm giving up on
I
my
would say,
Microsoft
go to
Surface.
Amazon and look at GEEKOM, and they're about the size of an Apple TV. And you can get like an i9 with 32 gig of RAM in it with a 1 terabyte hard drive for about $800.
Oh wow, that's pretty sweet.
It'll run two high def monitors at 4K, and it's like I said, it's about the size of a little Apple TV thing. They're awesome.
Awesome. That is super cool.
Graham, didn't you try to buy about a 13 terabyte Mac recently?
I attempted to. I tried. There's a 128 gigabyte one RAM. I was like, I need it.
Yeah, there you go.
It was $6,000, and the company wasn't
Ooh.
ready to fork over $6,000 for me to get a new
Just for
computer.
a laptop. I mean,
Andre, yeah, I've had them. I've had Apple. I have an iPhone. Obviously, I love iPhone, iPad. The computers, was so good with the Microsoft computer with all the keyboard shortcuts and everything. Super nerdy. I know it's kind of boring, but whenever I'd switch over to Apple, I've had the hardest time with the computer. But now I'm making the move. William says just 6,000. Yeah. Frank, I think we're getting started here in any moment now.
yeah. Oh, hey, we got Lance. I didn't even notice Lance was on. Hello, Lance.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are you doing this fine Thursday?
Well, my account, unlike Graham's, is at new highs
Oh,
for the year.
You said
Oh, shit.
unlike?
Thankfully, I do not.
Did you
own
not check
any
my
more.
Telegram?
Thankfully,
Listen.
I own no more of my life. But
Not-
the only thing I started, and I know some of y'all, I shared with us the other week. I just opened my 25K new account. So the challenge is to quadruple it for a new car.
What kind
The
of car
only
we
reason I
getting?
didn't do 50 is because, to be honest, Nathan doesn't pay me enough money, so I didn't have enough money in my bank account. Or I would have, but I didn't. And my account's up now almost 27K, so I should be starting with 27K. But I only had 25K in my bank account because, they don't pay me enough over here. And
Yeah.
Mr. Uncle Sam has to get his cut. So to be honest, I didn't have 50K in my account.
Okay, so what kind of car are we going for here, Lance?
So I got the LC 500 by Lexus. I just rented it on Turo to see if I liked it, and I didn't. It was a coupe. So now I'm leaning towards the C8 or maybe a 911. I don't know. Midlife crisis, sports car.
Corvette gang.
I love it. I almost bought the LC 500 actually a couple years ago before I got the F-Type. But same thing. I drove it and I didn't love the Lexus.
I didn't
so
either.
we
2 days, and I didn't. I don't know. It sounds great, especially in sport mode with the big V8, but not worth 100K or a little over 100K. So
Have you looked at the new Wagoneers?
I can't have a Wagoneer. I don't have kids. I feel
Yeah,
the
I know
AMG,
someone who
I do like
does.
that, Randy.
I have
They're
too
like
many for the Wagoneer.
180.
That's the problem.
Is that right? Those things are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know everyone's saying, what about Tesla? I want a big block V8. So I want to hear some.
You got to hear a
I have
hum.
the Cybertruck on the way. Obviously, I probably won't get that for another 2 or 3 years just because they're so, backed up. But I always have big trucks, and I want a sports car. So when I go to the office to visit Graham, Nathan, sometimes there, and the whole in Jacksonville, that whole area, I have to drive across Florida, and driving my big truck it's nice, but it's not the most economical.
There you go, Greg.
experience.
Yeah.
So
All right, let me get us kicked off here. The first thing I want to do is I want to drop the Telegram links. I love dropping the Telegram links because I love being in Telegram and posting stuff. So let me do this. By the way, Geof, I posted Prosperity Pub. Adam told me to post Prosperity Pub, so I'm just following orders at this point. He said the other one is still a group and he needs to shift it to a channel. He can do that. He can tell people in Prosperity Pub. So I'm just following orders at this point. I don't know if you want to override that and tell me to do something different.
I'm good.
But those are the Telegram channels for Lance, myself, Graham, and then Prosperity Pub is where we're posting some of Geoff's stuff. But we do need to get him isolated over there, which I guess Adam will be working on. And I recommend everyone do that. If you don't have Telegram, don't hold out any longer because that's the best place to get quick information, updates. If you want to see Graham shirtless in the morning, Telegram is the only place to get that kind of action.
Exclusive.
Right now.
I hear Grinder has earnings after the bell.
Well, there you go. So make sure you do that. Those are all there, and it takes about 2 clicks to join them. All right, so let's get rolling. I don't want to waste any time. We've already wasted a little bit of time. What we're doing?
We don't know. I'm on any side they pay me. Put it that way.
How do I log off?
What we're doing today, for those of you who are just logging on for the fun of it and have no idea what's going on, we are revealing our number one holdings. And so this is something I said, I don't think we've ever actually done this before. Normally we're talking about, hot stock for the week or the month or based on a certain sector or a certain catalyst. But rarely do we kind of scrape all that away and just say, hey, what do we actually have the most conviction? Where do we actually have the most dollars in? So that's what we want to do today. Forget about whether, chip stocks are hot or whatever else. Where is the money at? And so let's go ahead and start with Lance. Mr. Ippolito, if you want to take it over. I think that...
Where do I have the most money tied up right now? That's a very good question.
Your Cybertruck.
I would probably say
Citibank calls.
Let me see if I can pull it. Obviously Tesla. Besides that, probably besides Tesla, most are in the big cap tech like Google, Amazon, and I'm looking now. Yeah, mostly Google, Amazon, Tesla. That's pretty much it. All right, so I have like all the other ETF crap, but
all right, so we've got heavy tech. So obviously everyone's going to ask you.
I don't have any NVIDIA, though. I'll tell you that damn much.
Ooh, so Graham has one over on you there. So the question everyone's going to ask you, because you're heavy tech, is like, are we in a bubble? Are we about to collapse? Are you about to, lose all your money?
Are we in a bubble? Heck yeah. Look, let me show you what a bubble looks like here, if I may, just for a second.
Here comes a chart of SMCI.
Looks like. Let me see if I have the right screen. Yeah, here, let me just pull it up here. So let me show you what a bubble looks like. But here's the question: when will the bubble stop?
Yeah,
I don't know. For example, if we look today, let's just make it big. In the chips, starting with this morning, I would say 80% of names are chips this morning. Or even yesterday, for example, we saw a couple $1 million trades on NVIDIA. 3 minutes before the close, 700 grand in NVIDIA, March 925s. And then we saw the NVIDIA 1.95 million in the April 1000 calls. And then NVIDIA's up, what, $32 today? But even today, it's been NVIDIA, it's been ARM in April and July. It's been obviously NVIDIA, AMD, but also you have other chips, MCHP, TXN, NXPI. There's MCHP again. And then we also saw some Qualcomm. I mean, it's a chip. ADI is another one, ON, another one on. Supermicro, obviously. I think it's a chip. I guess it's a chip bubble, all thanks to AI. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I just think even like Palantir had a nice move yesterday. Oh yeah, I own a lot of Palantir in my retirement account, which is fine. I was down money in it actually for a while. But like last year or before that. And now it, it went from like $10 to $20. But I just think all these names are in kind of fairy tale land. And obviously it's helped the queues a lot, but when does it stop? I don't know. I don't think anything's going to stop until the election, personally.
Yeah.
And
Well, what you just showed obviously was the famous Lance scanner. Let me post a link for anyone who does not have the scanner or know the scanner. Do yourself a favor, bookmark this link and watch that presentation when you can.
why can't they just get the scanner?
Or they can just get the scanner. But so what Lance just scrolled through, 500,000, 300,000, 600,000, those are options. Those are not stocks. Those are options that people are buying. So you've got millions and millions of dollars of high leveraged, aggressive trading, which, typically means some pretty high confidence. And the scanner is a sick tool. I use it pretty regularly, and you should too.
And there was a real good question. Someone mentioned, was it Michael? Michael says, how is nobody dealing with Marvel and the earnings? Well, why all the chips, Marvel, Avgo have earnings, what's going to move in correlation with them? All these other chips, right? The AMDs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you are, SMH, the ETF, all those names are moving basically in harmony. So tons of Marvel today as well. To your question, Marvel had the September 120s, July 90s, July 82.5. Marvel's been very hot as well. It's just been, there's so much stuff that forget things.
Cool. All right. Well, if you guys have other questions for Lance, cue those up. We'll move on to Graham. And if you have questions, we will circle back and make sure we cover everything. I've also got a few questions that some of you answered in the survey. Graham, one specifically for you, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
But for now, let's keep chugging along with top holdings.
Cool. I'm going to drop them here. I'm going to give you my 6 top holdings right now. Lance loves Maris, so I made sure to put that in there. Top right now, as far as a cash perspective, but I put in there the percentage of the portfolio so you guys can see. Right now, I'm pretty heavy Bitcoin. As you can see, it's about 15% of my account, IBIT. It's an ETF for Bitcoin. The next up is QQQ. Those are pretty much neck and neck, Bitcoin and QQQ, just because I like to write it. It's nice and even. But there you see the one that's really been carrying the account all year is NVIDIA. I think it's just been a beast. I know we just talked about it. I don't know if it's going to slow down or when it will. I would not be shocked if NVIDIA goes to $1,200. I think that the reason I say that is because people will look at NVIDIA and say it's overpriced. It's at a top. The market cap wise, it can't go any higher. But people have been saying that about Apple and Microsoft too for the last 5, 6, 7 years. So obviously there's a lot more room for it to go. That's why I'm still pretty heavy in NVIDIA. As long as the momentum is there, I'm going to keep that one pretty heavy in my account. I also have Lily. Oh, I won't skip over Mara. You guys know about Mara. This guy's kind of a moonshot. It's either going to hit or it's not going to hit, is my thought with it.
Mara.
It's a Bitcoin miner. I think most of you guys who have heard me before know about it. This thing is a roller coaster. One day you'll be up 40, 50 grand, and then the next day you're down. So it's one of those things I'm holding, as I've told you guys, through 2026 to see if it can get a nice rip on the Bitcoin halving. But again, that's super volatile name that goes up and down like crazy. Right now it's down. That's why Lance gets a good laugh. But a week ago, he was crying a little bit there. But hey, we'll see what happens. No one knows what's going to happen. But next up, what's that?
I wish I would have bought puts a week ago.
I know. If only you were a genie. Next up, we got Lily there, which you guys know I've been banging the doors on Lily for a while now. It's growing like crazy. They're building plants all over the place, investing billions and billions of dollars in these weight loss drugs. You guys probably know about Ozempic and the other ones like that. Lily's coming out with a drug. So the thing with Ozempic, then about 10% of the overweight population is on Ozempic. So there's about 10 times room for growth on these weight loss drugs already. But the cool thing about Lily's new drug that Ozempic doesn't do, Ozempic will cut fat, but it will also cut muscle at the same time. Lily's coming out with a drug that cuts fat but doesn't touch your muscle. So I think everyone's going to be pretty big on that one, and that's why we're seeing that thing shoot up. I think it's the 8th biggest stock in the world now. And I'll talk about a little competitor to Lilly here in a second. Actually, Ozempic's company. But next up is GE. They've got some cool stuff coming out with developments, especially around uranium and nuclear reactors. I think GE could be really huge. The stock has just been on a tear for months now, but that's about 5% of my portfolio. And then I'm going to post in here the ones I'm liking to accumulate right now. You guys hear me talk about Kava all the time. I think I eat there once a week, so I help pump the stock with my revenue going into their pot there. No, but I love Kava. The reason is, first off, the food's amazing. It's a similar model. If you guys have ever been to Chipotle, you walk up, pick what you want. They also have pre-made items. But the thing that I really like outside of just the taste of the food is their business model is all internal growth. You can't franchise it. It's like Chick-fil-A or Chipotle. Obviously, Chick-fil-A is not public, but Kava is all growth from within, which means if everything works out, they should have some pretty good margins at the end of the day. And Chipotle, if you look at that stock over the last 10 years, it's up like 2,000%. So even if Kava does half that or even a quarter of that, that's a great stock to own. The next ticker you see there's NVO, Novo Nordisk. That's the maker of Ozempic right now, which is the competitor to Lilly's. They just had big news today, actually, that they are having good results on their newest weight loss drug coming out. I think the stock's up 9%, 10% today alone. So that's definitely one I'm looking to see if we can accumulate more of. And then CCJ, another uranium-based stock. It's actually, if you look at the charts on CCJ, it made it, it took a little pullback there, but it's making a nice jump today. And each time you look at the charts and it has a big green candlestick like today, you'll typically see a nice little drift over the next week or two with a ticker like that.
Perfect. Well, Graham, you over delivered huge on the portfolio picks. Same thing. If you guys got more questions for Graham, we can circle back, but let's keep chugging along so you can get all the holdings. Geof, what do you got?
Since I'm the one with the gray hair around here, I'm going to go old school on y'all and going to start out with a nice little boring story. So back last August, and you have to understand my wife a little bit. I've hunted all my life. She has hunted with me, but she's more of a bow hunter than a gun hunter. She can't stand guns. And so I actually bought her a little 22 Beretta for protection, and she just put it in the drawer. She won't touch it. And I'm just like, that's not any good. So I get home one day. This is last October, and she goes, you know what? Go to this website. And so I did. And I thought she was kidding me a little bit here. And so I looked at this website here, and I like, you want to shoot paintball guns? And so she goes, no, it's not what it is. And so I started looking into this company. It's called Byrna. And they have a really cool thing. It shoots a 60 millimeter paintball, basically, but they have 4 different types of rounds. They have one that is just what they call a kinetic, which is when it hits, it just kind of explodes and hurts a lot. Another one is filled with pepper spray. The other one is filled with tear gas. And they have one that is just biodegradable for target practice. And so I looked at that and I was just like, this sounds kind of cool. So I started researching the company a little bit. And so when I did that, I found out that it actually had tradable stock. So last October, I thought, well, okay, fine. This thing's around $2.50. I'll just grab a couple thousand shares here and see what happens. So I did. And the thing started taking off. And I was just like, hey, now this is pretty cool. So I got back home and I was just like, where'd you hear about this? And she goes, well, it was on the radio. And I was just like, really? And so I thought, Christmas present, right? So I went over to their website. I bought one, got all the stuff for it and everything like that, boxed it up, threw it underneath the Christmas tree. When she opened it up at Christmas, her eyes were about this big around. And she was like, oh, this is so cool. And of course, she went straight outside and just started blasting everything with it. And I was like, finally something that she'll use. I was like, well, I always like to trade stuff that, companies that my wife always, buys stuff from. So I thought, well, I'll see if I can't get my money back on this. Well, it started moving up and I thought, now it's around $4.50. So I bought some more and it kind of chilled out for a little bit. And then right after the beginning of the year, it started taking off again. And I thought, and today you'll notice there's a big green bar over here on the far right side. They actually came out this morning pre-market, and it's a small company. And instead of them making 15.6 million in the first quarter, they're going to make 16.7 million this first quarter. which is a 7% increase over what they previous predicted. So that's why they jumped up a little bit. But I think this stock easily can get up to around 22 and a half, $25 over the next year or year and a half. I'm all in on it. This is my largest holding just because, well, I like their paintballs. And so, and I actually sent one to my program because he has a couple of daughters for Christmas, the guy who programs his software. And now they use it when they go out for walks and everything like that. And it's really, really, really cool. But I'm in on this thing. Like I said, it's just one of those startup companies that I think are going to do really, really well. And right now, it is my largest holding.
Awesome. Well, okay. Same thing here. If you got questions for Geof, let us know. We'll circle back. Geof, I have to give a tip of the cap here because you told me about this last week when I was asking about stocks. So the ticker there is BYRN. And so I grabbed some and I made about $2,000 on that beautiful green candle so far today. So thank you, Geof. All right. Let me share my screen here. I'll just show you a couple of the main ones that I have going on here. Let me pull this up if I can find the right spot. Here we go. All right, so I made this handy dandy little group in TOS for this particular roundtable session. So you see here, these are my biggest, the QQQ is my biggest holding. Kind of boring, the QQQ, but I'm of the opinion that as long as we're in this fast moving market, that tech is going to lead the way. And so as long as the market is bullish, QQQ will probably be my biggest holding. And so that's what I have the most in. Pretty big drop off from there on the stock side. Anything that I've got 20K plus in is a pretty big holding for me across, 55 or 60 stocks. So next I have GLD. And that's another one that I got to give Geof some credit for because he got me in a little bit earlier than I probably would have been otherwise. So I think, Geof, I owe you like $5,000 as of now. But GLD, the reason I like GLD is for a lot of the reasons that Geof will tell you about. I think tomorrow. Don't you have a session tomorrow, Geof?
I have one tomorrow. I believe it's at 1 Eastern or 2 Eastern.
Right. I have a link here. Hold on. Let me pause. Drop the link. There we go. Super. Okay, so Geof will tell you more about that and a lot of the reasons that we like it. But one of the reasons that I like it is because I think it is one of the few stocks in the world that I can own that if this market continues to heat up, gold still has potential. And if we get that kind of bubble effect that everyone's worried about, then it's still going to be in good shape. I don't want to hold bonds and other things like that, but gold I really like for that reason. And also the chart is just beautiful right now. If you take a look at gold, especially if you zoom out to a nice long time frame, it is a beautiful looking chart at the moment. And then next, CCJ, which is one that Graham also mentioned. I'm a big believer in the uranium, the nuclear potential there. I have been for a while. You can't see the whole history here because I just switched to Schwab like a month ago. But CCJ, from a percentage standpoint, is actually my number one stock in my entire portfolio. And I'm a believer in it for a lot longer time frame than just the next couple of months. And then OKE, another energy stock. You guys have probably heard me talk about that one. Really strong energy stock that also pays a really nice dividend. So those are four of my top there. Now, in between QQQ and GLD, my second largest holding is actually Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is not in Schwab, so you won't see it listed here. But that is technically my second largest holding. So there you got my top five: QQQ, Bitcoin, GLD, CCJ, and OKE. 3 out of 5 of those are energy, but they're pretty heavily balanced out with, QQQ being the top by a pretty good margin. So same thing there. If you have questions, comments, why you're holding it, how long you're holding it, all of that. Deb, when I say Bitcoin, I mean actual Bitcoin is my second. So I also have BITO options on that, which is a much more aggressive play. That's kind of my boom or bust pick on Bitcoin that I've held, for a while. If you guys read that all-in stock report, you might have seen it. But as far as my actual second biggest holding, it is Bitcoin, as in the coin. Cool. So let me stop sharing here. There are also a couple of questions we got in the survey here that I wanted to mention. So one of the questions that we already hit on is, are you bullish on crypto? And if so, for how long? So I think we might be 2 and 2 here. Me and Graham are bullish on crypto. I think everyone probably knows that based on our holdings. Geof and Lance, not so bullish, or where do we land on crypto?
I myself don't trade crypto.
Lance is muted, but I think he's a hater. Lance, you're muted.
Can't hear you, bud.
Lance, you're still muted.
Audio.
There you
Got
go.
you now.
No, I'm Rivian with news here. By the way, if I had to do any money in the crypto, I'd probably just do Coinbase stock. I think all the crypto is all fraud. All the miners are a fraud. Riot, Mara, all those little ones are all frauds. I would, if I had to, if you said, Lance, here's 20 grand to put in crypto, I'd probably just do Coinbase or Robinhood stock or touch it. But I think it's all hype. I think it's all pumpers. I think all the miners were bullshit companies in Miami that went to, oh, look, we could get into crypto mining. I think it's all BS. Buy gold.
All right, so we've got a split decision here.
I agree with him.
On crypto. Well, that's why I said 2 and 2. I figured.
True. I think if you buy
case.
crypto, you have to be prepared to take a 50% drawdown.
Well,
and when
see,
everything
I
starts
agree with
coming
that part.
down, it's going to get liquidated. I mean, look at the crypto miners. They're horrible. They're down like 50% in a month. I mean, just buy the.
They're also up 400% in a year.
Yeah,
They can, but I just think
well, but
might
net
as well
they
do
are.
a clean play. And if you're a believer in like alternative currency stuff, just do Robinhood or Coinbase. If you
Robinhood,
don't,
big
then-
talk about a fraud, big Vlad guy.
Yeah,
they're all, the companies are frauds. They go to whatever's hot,
here
just
we
like
go.
all these EV stocks were. Like
Well,
all right.
Lucid,
I like that, William.
Fisker. They say, "Oh, we're going to make cars. We're going to put EV in front of it." And now you're realizing all the EV companies are basically frauds out there.
All right, so we should be clear, or at least I should be clear. I agree with the 50% drawdown part. I 100% agree. You got to be prepared to take some licks along the way. If you're a believer, I am a believer. Now I will start taking profit if Bitcoin hits 100K. That was kind of my line in the sand for a long time, since 2019. So if that happens, I'll take some and try to get to the point where it's house money, and recognize that it is a house money gamble with Bitcoin. But I think there are legitimate fundamental use cases for a lot of the crypto, and so I'm a believer, but I'm prepared to take a hit too. I think it should.
If the market keeps above, if AI and we keep getting a massive squeeze, I think Bitcoin will reach 100K. Obviously, it's a big round number, right?
Yeah.
But I think if you think that way right now, what is it at, like 65K or 70K, whatever it's at?
Yep.
You have to be prepared to hold it down to 40.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, I just don't want to do it. And I just think it's silly. And to get people to buy, maybe not Bitcoin, maybe the crap coins, and then just get, have some crypto influencer dump the bag on you. I just think it's a nasty market that way. So
All right.
I don't want to touch it.
Fair enough. Graham, any last
You mean
comments?
you don't want to buy your Doge coins? No, I don't. I don't mess around with anything but Bitcoin. I'd probably get some Ethereum. But yeah, no, I'm with Lance on the minor or the tiny cryptos aren't so much for me. But all in all, hey, you guys have probably seen the research of the halving that's happening right now, set to happen in April. 3 times in a row, Bitcoin has more than doubled, more than tripled, more than quadrupled during the 2 years following the halving. So who's to say it won't happen again? I think I saw some questions in here. The government's going to do a version of digital currency. I think that just adds more stability to Bitcoin and makes it more real than if the government were to avoid it altogether. Also, as far as crypto goes. I think in 2008, the banks were too big to fail. The banks have billions of dollars tied up in crypto, probably trillions of dollars at this point. They're not going to lose their money on it. So feeling a little bit better this time around than any time before. So,
Oh
All right,
yeah, I mean, I think too I think crypto's implying Trump's getting in office, and if Trump gets in office, regulation's going to go to this. You know, he's got the SPACs, he'll have Trump coin, he'll have sneakers,
interest rates to zero.
Yeah, I think he'll say like, who cares? You know, you'll start seeing NFTs pop up again, all that stuff. I mean, it's euphoria, it's fun.
It is
but
fun.
It's just not.
You know what
not,
else is fun,
not my
Lance?
cup of tea.
What else is fun is our next question, which you and Graham can maybe speak to. And the question is very simply, how do you guys trade earnings?
Lance?
Oh, I love gambling. Yes.
Shameless
I want
scanner
to buy.
plug
I want to buy
here.
more gap puts. I can't. I have to get back in. I feel like earnings are the greatest thing ever. I want to buy Avgo calls, but I just don't want to spend.
Lance.
Speaking of that, I know y'all marketing folks have done the Avgo. I got like 10,000 text messages over the past few days for it. But did y'all see what happened in Avgo, the October calls today?
No, I haven't even fallen. What do we got?
Over 14 million of the October 1760 calls. At first, they were selling them, and then they were buying them. They obviously they made the market. They're up 169% on a $47 move. So they're spiking implied vol. Obviously, they're super far out the money. But I've never seen Avgo calls obviously so aggressive than today. They're buying the October 1760s, the October 1940s, the weekly 1800s, the October 1800s. So these are like $500 out the money calls in Avgo, all out the money.
These are like $5,000 a pop.
Yeah.
No, they're like $7,000 a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't have the cojones to buy them, and I don't want to do call spreads.
Wow, you guys
maybe I'll do a call spread, but
you guys are doing a beautiful job of leading to the next question. Literally, the next question on the list is why trade spreads and not calls and puts? Literally, that's the next question.
Ooh.
And I was going to talk about Avgo. Let Graham take the bright light here.
Let's hear it.
So AVGO, I think I sent it in my Telegram. Right now, the at the money calls for tomorrow's expiration. So you got 1 day to move. Obviously, we got earnings ahead. The at the money calls are $6,100 right now. You need a $61 move to break even on AVGO. I'm gonna show you guys here in about 25 minutes how I'm gonna trade AVGO, the at the money options for about $240 a contract. So instead of paying $6,000 per contract, $240. And if I'm right, it'll be a little over 100% gain by tomorrow expiration. And all we need AVGO to gain at the moment right now to gain $3 before the close tomorrow. To give you guys an idea, it's moved $47 today, so $3 ain't much.
Yeah, I mean, I like Avgo. I'm not willing to spend $7,000 on an option contract. I can't imagine most people are. So, it's crazy when we get these stocks like Nvidia and Monster and Avgo and not Monster, MSTR, Microsoft.
Let me ask you. Look, I just got a damn text with Avgo from.
Is it from Graham? Well, there you go.
I didn't send it.
No. He's only 24 minutes away.
Let me ask you a true roll the dice question, and then I got to hop off. Is how much would you pay for an Avgo call? What's the max risk you want to put on? What's the max risk you're willing to put on for earnings? So if it goes to zero, what's the math?
Yeah, a couple grand, $2,000, not $7,000.
$2,000. All right, let's say $2,000, right?
Yeah.
The implied move is what? $116. Let's just say $120 at 1,400. So we're looking at what? 1520, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 1520 calls are $25. What? Let's just say what? And this is the bull camp. Obviously, the stock stays flat or goes down. The calls go to zero, so you lose your full $25 or $2,500. What if we get a 3x greater than market makers move? So what if we get a $300 move higher? So 1,700. those calls go to 25 to 200.
Yeah. What if the QQQ doubles overnight?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
what you could do, you could play SMH, and
Dude, but
you
that's
know,
the
let's
whole
say we
thing.
get a
When you're
$8
going
move
for
in SMH.
if you're going for a $300 move, then I'm willing to put $200 on it, not $2,000. You know what I mean? Like it's still in proportion outrageous.
And you still can't afford it
I know.
because they're $2,500 a pop.
Jeff, are you putting $2,000
Manny-
on need a triple up on IV for Avgo to
Oh,
hit?
Rivian here, Pop.
I like selling call spreads and put spreads on AVGO. I don't do any outright longs or shorts.
Yeah, I sure don't either at $7,000 a pop for
I
1 day
usually go like
expiration.
$300 or $400 out of the money, and you can pick up 50, 60 cents on a put spread or a call spread. And I'll just let that deteriorate through the week and take it and go home.
Yeah. There's crazy now. Again, NVIDIA, MSTR,
It's all
Avgo,
crazy.
they're
Yeah.
insane. You can't even trade them. I mean, obviously some people are out there trading them. They must either have some kahunas or they've got someone else's money they're playing with to the tune of billions to be trading hundreds of contracts at 10K a pop.
Yeah, it's obviously this is so like I'm looking at one of my $4 million in the October 1800s. Let me see what else here. I'm just going to read you the list of flow. Obviously, this is not, people like you and me. Avgo seen 200K in the weekly 1820s, $4 million in the October 1780s, 3.77 million in the October 1760s, $2 million in the 1940s in October. I don't know why they're all buying Octobers, by the way.
Yeah.
If they were buying weeklies, I would definitely buy them, but I don't like how they're all October.
Yeah.
Obviously, tons of time. But I mean, it goes back to the kind of the melt up in chips. We could just be in the middle of it, right?
Well, I mean,
there's
that's
no downside plays though, which is kind of concerning.
it is. I mean, that's the whole thing. You talked about this earlier, the bubble. Like two things can be true at the same time. You can be in a bubble and still be far away from that bubble popping, and both things can be true at the same time. I think, like, I always talk about the Big Short with Michael Burry. Like, he was 100% right about every point, and then he was stuck for 2 years waiting for it to happen. Because the market can, especially when the Fed's involved and everything else, the market can, make unsustainable moves for much longer than people realize. So whether it's tomorrow or next year, I think picking the top is a dangerous game.
Well, yeah, and this, I still think this can continue all the way to November, right? The market's pricing in Trump wins the election. That's why we keep rallying so much. And every time someone like Haley, gets out the race, what happens to the market? Market goes up, right? When DeSantis out the race, market goes up. Every time someone got out the race and Trump was the nominee, market got up. And as long as he keeps polling the way it is, that's the that the other side of the coin is the market can continue to chug along till November, and then when he finally wins, like the polls are insane, then you might have a pullback. But the market's always forward looking, and in my opinion, that's why we keep seeing every day the market go up.
Yeah. So I mean, the market obviously is going up, but it's at such a minimal level of which stocks are pulling it up. I mean, even at the highest level. So it's not like, hey, big tech is all going up, but your penny stocks are going down. We're talking about NVIDIA, MSTR, Avgo going up, but Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, and Amazon flat. Like there's divergence here that's at massive levels.
Or your typical Trump stocks aren't going up. Energy, some of the materials, well, they're finally catching up, but you still have like industrials lagging, trannies lagging. Everything's just been Qs, semis, really the semis, and maybe and eventually there should be a rotation into other sectors. We just haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part is you're not seeing anything else, participate, but those names like y'all mentioned, Avgo, NVIDIA.
Well, I keep seeing people saying like, oh, tech is still yanking the market higher, like stuff like that. And it's like, well, not really tech. It's like, a couple AI names and a couple,
crazy.
And healthcare has been pretty strong.
Healthcare.
Healthcare. Yeah.
Well, and then there's some that have been quietly strong, like
Abercrombie and Fitch.
well, dude, ANF. But some of the industrials, some of the energy, I love that. Okay, you keep mentioning that has been strong, but it's there's just so much divergence. It's not consistent, sector to sector at all right now.
No, I mean, I think it's good seeing. I know Jeff's a big gold fan. Seeing the gold breakout,
Yeah.
that's been refreshing to see lately.
Yeah.
Starting to see uranium, some of the copper catch a big move, Tech,
Yep.
Freeport. So it's actually refreshing, past couple, really this week, start seeing the metals and miners and some Alcoa today. Start seeing some other names.
Yep.
Catch a bid.
By the way, I just put a poll in there. I'm curious if obviously no pressure if you don't want to answer, but curious what everyone else is. We told you ours. Curious to know what everyone else's is. So I'll leave that up there for a minute. You guys can vote, answer what your number one holding is. While you're doing that, couple more things to know. I'm just going to do some shameless plugs here because we've got a lot going on. Most timely thing here, we've got Graham going live in 15 minutes with Avgo earnings.
Yep.
Preview of Avgo earnings. Make sure you hit that link. It'll jump you right into the next Zoom room. You're going to hear not only about the Avgo plan, but specifically this issue of how do you take advantage of it without $7,000 risk. So, Graham, tell the people why they got to join.
Yeah, definitely. We've been doing this type of trade I'm going to teach you guys about for 6 months now and the model portfolio is up huge. I think on $5,000, it's up to 30 something thousand dollars. Don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but what's really unique about it is we've been able to play names like NVIDIA or Avgo or Meta, $400, $500, $700, $900, $1,300 stocks for just a couple $100 each week. And each week we're targeting the same thing, right around 100% return on investment from just a small move in the price of a stock. So today, for example, like I told you earlier, the at the money call options for Broadcom AVGO are $6,200. Right now, you need a big move to even break even. I'm going to show you guys how we can trade AVGO for earnings today for about $230 per contract. If AVGO goes up 0.03% tomorrow, we will make around 100% return on our money. Obviously, if it goes up more, we'll still make our money. But it's really, really cool. We get to trade it for really cheap. We just need a tiny move in the stock to double our account, or double our investment, I should say. So if you click that link in the chat, it'll take you there to my room. We start right at 2:00. It'll be
Beautiful.
A lot of fun.
All right, and then let's keep the shameless plugs rolling here for just a minute, guys. You heard Lance talk about all that stuff going on. We are clearly in a specific, divergent, stock-driven market, not a sector macro market. How do you know where those big pushes are coming? Well, Lance will probably tell you, use the scanner. Look at where people are betting millions of dollars at a time. So if you want to take advantage of the scanner, Lance, you want me to give them direct access here?
Yes.
What?
I would just do a link.
All right. If
Who wants to watch another presentation? Just get the link and buy it.
Skip the presentation and figure out what's going on before the weekend with a scanner.
And we have trainings every week on how to use it. I think our next one is Tuesday morning, if I'm not mistaken. So every week we do a training for about an hour on the scanner as well.
Beautiful. Okay. And last, but certainly not least, Geof, Super Cycle tomorrow, telling you why gold is breaking out the way we're seeing it. Cannot give you enough credit here, Geof, for calling this 2 weeks before this massive candle that we're seeing this month. I posted the link in there. Anything else to say about making sure they get there tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to kind of bounce off what Lance was just saying. I think people are starting to gear up for the election. If you go back to 2016, if you go the night during the election of 2016, the S&P, the NASDAQ, everything went limit down before the polls closed. And right when they started to close, here it went. Gold took off. And I think you're starting to see everybody going, Trump's now on board. He's the lead one. It's going to start taking off. And I'd like to really see silver help it out, getting above about $25. If it could do that, rock and roll. And copper is smoking along. If it can bust 4, we're rocking and rolling.
Awesome. All right.
Geof, what's your favorite silver stock?
Well, I like Silver Wheaton a lot.
WPM.
Yep. I like them a lot. I like, just trading SLV itself. So but silver wheaton's a real good one.
Yeah. And by the way, SCCO, which we talked about, Geof and I talked about in the dividends workshop a couple weeks ago, ripping, beautiful dividend on that one. SCCO, write that one down. Because that I think is going to be a nice payer for the next couple of years too. I mean, I already have some capital in SCCO. If Trump wins, I'll probably double down. Honestly, for SCCO.
And too, if you get a move in, if China ever bounces back, you're gonna have copper rip too.
There you go. There you go.
You know, and China's been lagging for how long now? A long time. So you got to remember, you know, copper very correlated with industrial growth, especially in China. So,
and Nate, going on to what you were just saying a few minutes ago, 19 of the 30 Dow stocks are down for the month.
Yep.
wow.
Yep.
19 of the 30 Dow stocks are down on the month.
It is a divergent market, friends. This is not a throw darts kind of market. This is a stock pickers market. Again, you know, there's tools like Scanner and stuff that can help you isolate exactly where things are going, why they're going there. I think you know, the presentation here kind of isolates multiple. You got Graham talking about specific opportunities, Geof talking about gold, which he's already proven how right he was about that. Lance showing you Scanner stuff. So we're hitting it on all cylinders. Okay, I'm going to end this pool so I can see what everyone here put up.
One last thing for you guys too on my end. I know we're in a bit of a melt up, a little bit of a bubble. It feels like the last 3 election cycles. I know everyone says sell and go away. The last 3 election cycles, we saw the markets rally through and into August, and then we saw a little pullback going into the election or chop going into the election. So don't be shocked if we get a strong summer, even though I know typically summers can be a little bit choppy. Election years, the last 3 have been pretty strong.
All right, we got from the audience, we got 117 people out of 600 who answered. We've got a lot of Apple, we've got some Dell, we've got some Amazon, a good chunk of Tesla. Well, you guys are taking a beating with me on Tesla. We're in it together. Some Nvidia, some BRK, good mix of stuff here. Some Intel, some Hood, some Microsoft, some AMD. All right, cool. Well, it's just kind of fun to see what everyone's got going on. Hope this was helpful for you guys. As always, let me know what you thought. Your feedback here is extremely valuable because we want to know if we should keep doing these. We want to know if we should keep putting emphasis on having these kind of free sessions. What kind of topics make sense and are actionable. We don't just want to sit here and talk theory about the market or fluff about the market. We want to give you something that's specific and valuable, and that's what the idea is here. So with that in mind. One last call. Go ahead.
One last thing. If y'all don't know, going back to my Berna, that gun, you do not have to have a permit. You don't have to have a carry permit, and is legal in all 50 states. So you don't have to worry about any of that. Get one, carry it.
Cool. All right.
Or you can be in Florida and you don't even need the concealed anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Or, get a nice, you got coyotes out back, get a nice 22.
Yep.
Have some target practice, quiet. I mean, that's a real cool. I really like that, Geof. Especially too, if maybe you live like in a neighborhood and you can't have, a big sound of a 9 or 40 Glock go off.
Yeah, no kidding. Or 30-06.
It's a paintball. Hey.
All right. Ending on the note of specific actionable ideas, jump into Graham's room. He is going to be very specific and actionable, talking about Avgo with earnings. So that's next on the list. You got those other links and those other resources. Hope this was helpful. Yep, that's Graham's 9 minutes away. So jump in there. Cool. That link, I'll post it one more time for you guys. Just exit this room, jump right into Graham's room, and he's going to cover the Avgo opportunity starting in a couple of minutes. Thanks, everyone. Glad it was helpful. Thanks for all the positive feedback. We appreciate you. And we will see you about a month or so with the next opportunity to join us in a roundtable. Thanks, Geof. Thanks, Lance. Thanks, Graham. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. See y'all.
Go Avgo.
Go Avgo. To the moon. See you guys.
Man, everyone left me? I don't leave home without mine, says Rebecca. Too funny. Rebecca, I like you. Did they really leave me on as an open Zoom room? Uh-oh. John's in Naples. I'm finally seeing the chat here. Tell us a joke. Well, I kind of want to buy Tesla weekly 180 calls. The chart is so bad though. I don't know. I'm gonna write a Tesla alert, and I think we break 180 to the upside. It really just depends if the market can hold tomorrow. So let me do that now before they start yelling at me and get that out. But I kind of want to go counter trend. I shouldn't, but I do. And I have to talk with one of the analysts here too. Super micro. If AFCO goes up, they all should go up. Sunshine. I like that name. All right, let me leave this room. I don't know why they didn't close it down.
Hey everyone, just a reminder that Graham's about to go live in 6 minutes. If you'd like to join him, the link is right here in the chat.